Yana and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can see from the title of this video, we are going to be doing my April book haul. In the month of April, I bought a lot of books and I probably need to stop doing that. But let's just go ahead and get started with this video. One book I bought this month is The Castle School for Troubled Girls by Alyssa Scheinman. And this, we follow a girl named Moria, and her parents announced that they're sending her to an all-girls boarding school deep in the Maine woods. But she isn't fooled. Her parents are punishing her. She's been in too much trouble since her best friend Nathan died. And for a while before that, at the castle school, isolated from the rest of the world, Moria will be expected to pour her heart out to the odd headmaster, Dr. Prince. But she isn't interested in getting over Nathan's death or befriending her fellow students. On the first night there, Moria hears distant music. On her second night, she discovers the lock on her window broken. On the third, she and her roommates venture outside and learn that they're not so isolated after all. There's another very different castle school nearby. This one filled with boys whose parents sent them away too. So, the cover alone interested me, and then when I read the description, I was like, I need this, so I'm very excited. I bought on birthday A Twisted Tale by Liz Braswell, and this is basically what if Wonderland was in peril and Alice was very late. These are the twisted tales, basically the retellings of all the fairy tales. So Alice is different from other 18-year-old ladies in Victorian Kepfer, which is perfectly fine with her. She'd rather spend golden afternoons taking pictures with her trusty camera, chatting with her outrageous Aunt Vivian, or visiting the children in Square than receiving visitors or doing embroidery. She's also interested in learning more about the young lawyer she just met, but only because he's rather curious and not because he's rosy cheeked and charming. When Alice develops the latest photographs of her neighbor, strangely familiar faces appear instead: the Queen of Hearts, the Mad Hatter, and even the Caterpillar. There's something quite off about them, even for Wonderland creatures, and in her self-portrait, Alice finds the most disturbing image of all: an imprisoned and injured dark-haired girl begging Alice for help. Returning to the place of nonsense from her childhood, Alice finds herself on a mission to stop the Queen of Hearts' mad military march across Wonderland and to find her place in both worlds. But will she be able to do it before the end of time? And I'm very excited for it. I also bought Go the Distance by Jen Calatonia, and this is basically, at the end of Hercules, they only said that Hercules can become a god, but in this twisted tale, they offer Meg to become a Greek goddess as well. But in order to become a Greek goddess, she has to go back into the underworld and save the soul of the person she traded for her bargain with Hades, which is her ex-boyfriend who cheated on her. Hercules is one of my favorite Disney movies ever, and so I'm very, very excited to read this. I bought Pillow Thoughts by Courtney Peppernell, and it's a collection of poetry. Prose is about heartbreak, love, and raw emotion. It is divided into sections to read when you feel you need them the most. Make a cup of tea and let yourself feel.
Daddy, where's all her toys? Okay, no, they're all in the hallway.
They're broken up into about 10 sections, so I'm very excited to read this. I'm loving poetry a little bit more, so yes. I then bought A Winterbourne Home for Mayhew and Mayhem by Allie Carter. This is the second book in the Winterbourne Home duology, where we follow April, who was an orphan given up with the promise that I will come back to you one day from her mother. And when she's taken into this home of a man named Gabriel Winterbourne, whose family was all murdered except for him, all these little kids are trying to figure out, why was this entire family killed and why has Gabriel Winterbourne been missing for over 10 years? Absolutely love the first one. It ended on a kind of a cliffhanger, so I'm very excited to read this. This is also a part of my May TBR, which you guys will hopefully see before this video. I then bought Love from A to C by S.K. Alley, who's the author of Saints and Misfits. And this is about a girl named Zenib, and she's the only Muslim in class. When she gets suspended for confronting her teacher and he begins to instigate her activist friends, Zainab heads to her aunt's house in Doha, Qatar for an early start to spring break. Fueled by guilt of getting her friend in trouble, she resolves to try out a newer, nicer version of herself in a place where no one knows her. Then her path crosses with Adam's. Since he got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, in November, Adam has stopped going to classes, intent instead of perfecting the making of things, intent on keeping the memories of his mom alive for his little sister. A lot of people loved this when this first came out. It's a very floppy, quick paperback, so I'm excited for it. I then bought Arusha in the City of Gold, the fourth and final book in the Pandava series, and we follow a little girl named Arusha who is a liar. She lies literally about everything, about her father still being in her life, about her mother's job, about this big ass house she has. So in the first book, Arusha on the End of Time, Arusha is on, I think, their Thanksgiving break, and her friends come over to the museum where her mom works at, and they live right above it, and they end up breaking one of the lamps that wakes up the sleeper, who's intent on stopping all of mankind and killing them. Arusha finds out that she is the reincarnated spirit of a Pandava brother. I forgot which one is her that she's reincarnated of, and that she has sisters out there who are also reincarnations of the other Pandava brothers, and she has to basically go on missions to find out in each of them who the other sisters are, because I think there's a total of 5 of them, and how to protect the world. Absolutely love books 1 through 3, and I'm very excited but also sad to say goodbye to these characters. I then bought the new editions of A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I'm very excited to have these editions because I do want to do a reread of these books very soon, but I want to tab them up. And the regular editions are my, the first edition hardback covers, so I don't want to tab those up because those are very precious. But again, everyone knows these. Absolutely one of my favorite series. Cannot wait to start tabbing these up. I then bought Moonstruck Volume 2, Some Enchanted Evening, and this follows a magical town that they're all creatures, witches, werewolves, vampires, centaurs, gargoyles. In the first book, a magician was able to revert them back into humans, and this one, it is enchanted drinks start to turn people into having magical abilities, so they have to figure out who's doing that. Very excited to read this. Hopefully it's better than the first one. And then of course my owl crate for April, I will link it somewhere on the eye, is Witches Steeped in Gold by Sienna Smart. It's a gorgeous cover. And this follows 2 girls, the first one being named Ira and the other named Jasmine. Ira has spent her life in a cell, heir to an overthrown and magical gifted dynasty. She was exiled from her home on the island nation of Aika when she was just a child. Jasmine grew up dressed in gold with stolen magic at her fingertips. Daughter of the self-crowned Doyen, her existence is a threat to her mother's rule. But unlike her sister before her, Jasmine has no intention of dying to strengthen her mother's power. Sworn enemies, the 2 witches enter a deadly alliance to take down the woman who threatened both their words, Doyen and Kariat. But revenge is a bloody pursuit, and nothing is certain except the once Ira and Jasmine will go to win the game. So yeah. So those are all the books I got in the month of April. It was a lot. I'll be linking here on the side of me 2 videos. You guys should go check it out. I try really, really hard to post twice a week, and I'll hopefully see you guys very soon with another video. Bye, guys.